Gaming themselves on that win. Let's head over to Dash, who's with the winning team.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Spring Split LCS champions, Counter Logic Gaming! Gentlemen, a huge congratulations. I am going to pull Zix aside here real quick to ask him a few questions before we get to an interview with you in just a few moments. So Zix, defending champions, you guys come back with a new roster. You substitute 2 guys out. You 3-0'd last time. You had a hard-fought 5 games this time. But how does it feel to know that you've defended your title after making those roster swaps and building the team back up?
It feels so good. Holy. Honestly, like, it's been like an uphill battle the whole way, and nobody's really supported us through that, except for the CLG fans. So it's really good to prove everyone wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely. You did it in grueling fashion there, a hard-fought series. But I have to ask you, with those roster swaps, with what happened in the preseason, with some of the dissenters that came about and said, you know what, this CLG isn't going to be the same. It can't be the same. You still did it. But I have to ask you, what's the identity of this roster? What changed, and why is this roster unique to any other previous CLG roster out there?
None of us are selfish at all. We only focus on teamwork, and I think that's the most important thing.
So, all right, so talk to me about this, because I think collectively the community would agree that when we look at CLG, we talk about this being the team play team, right? You guys are the ones who win through macro play, who are willing to take a back seat to any other player on the team. But you as a coach, how do you get in there and get the players to buy into that? How do you foster this kind of a team atmosphere as opposed to building up a superstar?
Well, we just treat everyone as a family, make sure everyone is super comfortable, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, well, as a family, you're going to be representing North America at the mid-season invitational. So as the coach, as the guy who's got the bird's eye view into everything, how do you feel CLG is going to fare on the international level? Are they going to put North America back on the map?
Well, a few weeks ago, probably 5 weeks ago, we made a goal, and it was win everything. So we won this, and now it's time to win MSI.
All right, it's time to win everything, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first. Here first, rather. Again, in just a few moments, we're going to be setting up for an interview with all the members of the CLG team, but for now, we're going to throw it back up to the analyst desk to get their thoughts on this series.
Thank you very much, Dash, and needless to say, an absolute barn burner till the end. 5-game series, and I think everybody here in NA could say either one of those teams could have moved on, and we would have been happy with the performance they would provide at MSI. However, there may be a little more fandom following CLG now.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's hard to say it better than Zix. They play for a team. No one is selfish. And, you know, talking through, oh, who played best within this series? Everyone contributed. There's like, oh, well, it was this guy this game. It was, you know, it was Darshan on like in some of the games. It was, you know, Hui coming up big on Echo. Stixay was huge on Kaylin. He was huge on Tristana this game. Afro had incredible plays on Bard. You know, great on the All-Star as well. Just across the board, they all contribute.
Yeah, it definitely showed that this is what they went for. They went for the team that was focused on being that family, being friends with everybody on that team, and making sure there was no animosity between them, so that they're always willing to help the other one. They're always willing to follow that call. And in that last fight, we definitely saw that they were all on the same page of what was going to happen with that fight, what they needed to do, and it was absolutely beautiful to watch.
Yep, this is the time where I can be really, really smug about my prediction, but you know what? I'm not even going to go there.
Me too.
I think that their teamwork was great, and that's why I thought that they could possibly give them the edge against the enemy team. And I think that with that kind of teamwork, you know, you saw all the double TP coordination, the flanks, just the pressure they were able to put globally when they're using their TPs. That takes a lot of communication, a lot of practice. And I know that they put in hours practicing just TPing or just being able to do those kind of plays, and it paid off finally here.
And that's the thing. They're such a hard-working team, and even though they brought on some new members, they still had the same shot callers, right? They still had the same core unit in terms of who's taking care of the macro game and who's calling the TPs. So when they were able to all get on the same page, we saw multiple Barons snuck in this series where they were able to sneak them, and there was something that went underneath TSM's nose and gave CLG an advantage in these games. And throughout the entire series, I noticed that CLG just had a much cleaner macro game than TSM. Even the games that TSM won, it was usually through brute forcing team fights. And in CLG's games, it was usually split push, turret, pressure, and then sometimes they would team fight, just like in that last game, how they ended up closing it out. So CLG looked more diverse in the strategies that they're able to bring to the table, and their macro game was just cleaner.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for the final thoughts. We are going to take a moment now to toss it down to Jat, who is stateside with TSM's Double Lift.
Thank you very much, Double Lift, for taking this interview after a very tough, hard-fought 5-game series. It's definitely got to be difficult. We're going to be talking to CLG in just a moment. But how do you feel after such a close series?
I guess it's kind of fitting that it all came down to one big team fight at like 40 minutes, and it's kind of bittersweet because we were just like right there. We were right about to win, and I guess we just blew it in Game 5. So I don't know. I'm pretty proud of my team though, because clawing our way back from 6th seed, I mean, we just had to try harder than every other team to make it this far.
Yeah, a lot of support from the crowd that's still here as well. Talk to me a little bit about that journey from 6th seed. Did you expect to even be in the position where one team fight could have given you the championship?
I think coming into the split, I was like, we're gonna win this for sure, or we're definitely gonna be in the finals. And then during the split, we got like more and more demoralized as the weeks went on. And then when playoffs came, we just kind of hit rock bottom, and we just knew because we're the lowest seed, we have to try harder than every other team to make the finals. And we finally got here. I knew it was gonna be a close series. I didn't know it was gonna be this close. But yeah, I'm just shocked, I guess. I didn't think CLG was that good.
Well, super close. CLG are the defending champions once again. That's 2 splits in a row for them. And final question for you, Double Lift. Knowing how the series had gone, what would you do differently if you were to play it again?
What would I do differently? So many things. I would probably... Man, that's such a hard question. I can't think of...
It is a hard
so
question,
many
and sorry. Right after the series, speaking of the last team fight in particular, what do you think broke it open to essentially decide the series?
I think our early game kind of sucked. We were like 0-4 early game, and then they got a Baron. But I don't know. We just got outplayed. The truth is, when it comes to 40-minute team fights, it just comes down to player and like team versus team synergy. And I mean, CLG 100% deserves it because player for player and team for team, they played better in that team fight. They aced us, and then they just throned it. So, I mean, congrats to them. They played really well.
Well, thank you very much, Double Lift. I think it was a fantastic series. Both teams should hold their heads high, and I look forward to watching TSM next split. For now, though, let's send it up to the analyst desk to keep closing out the day. Thanks, man.
Team Solo made another very hard-fought split, and going to come in stronger during the summer. Hopefully the fans will see that coming. That was a little savage. It was a little ominous there.
Lights out for TSM.
As we do throw it around the Mandalay Bay Event Center, before we get back to CLG and Dash's interview with them, we kind of want to take a look at the last fight that actually broke this open, and we'll figure out just what happened. As we bring this one up, we all know Stixay kind of went off the handle on this one on the Tristana, the pick that not many people seemed to really think would come back. So let's start that replay on your screen and check this out.
Kobe actually had really good points about this. That trap line is right there at the Dragon. TSM did not need to force this, but they were trying to push their advantage instead of push the terrain and play to their team composition strengths.
Yeah.
And that buffer of the rocket jump by Stixay was absolutely perfect. It blows the Lamb's respite here, even though Hanser wasn't going to die in those moments. And then boom, Svenskeren gets knocked up. They have to divide now and go off onto the other side.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, it's like, you know, at the point where the Kindred ult gets popped, I still think that TSM actually could have retreated. I think they could and try to just bail out, say, hey, this is a lost fight, let's get out of here. They decided to fully commit, and you talk about, you know, fully committing to those losing calls, even if it is the wrong decision. Everyone wants to be on the same page, and this is one of those things where it happened and it didn't go well for them.
And did you have any thoughts? Or Zaren, go ahead.
I was just going to say, those Caitlyn traps are something you have to play around.
Absolutely.
And we saw Double Lift actually playing the Caitlyn rather well during the entire series. He was placing down traps during the fights, and they're very hard to see when everything's very hectic. But with the fact that the Caitlyn has to be a little bit closer and in range and like take an extra second to do that, it becomes rather difficult. So play around the traps. You don't have to go out that far.
All right, well, both our teams gave it they're all on the Rift today, but one player actually stood above the rest and has earned the title of Player of the Series. That is going to be Stixay. Fantastic play from him throughout the series. Tristan in the end was a little interesting, I think, to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, he was really huge in all the games that they won. He, you know, people were giving a lot of criticism, but he was up in CS, he was up in farm, he was putting a huge amounts of damage in the team fights, and Stixxay throughout the series played incredibly well. And in that last one, that buffered W could have won the game.
Exactly. And Stixxay, that was a game 5. That was a winning play right there. They put everything on his shoulders. They picked the Lulu composition around the Tristana, and they trusted in it, even though it had lost previously when they had run it against TL. And this was the rookie on a big stage, biggest venue he's been in front of. He actually went to IEM as well. So, you know, he's also had some experience there. But Nerves didn't seem to face him at that much. He was down in CS in some of the laning phases, but they seem to play around team. Right? It's not about if you can outplay that one guy. It's if your team can actually work as a unit. And even if you are better in the one-on-one, if you're not as good on the 5-on-5, then it doesn't matter. It's a team game.
Well, we get to hear from the team right now. We're going to check back with Dash, who has got an interview on stage with CounterLogic Gaming.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, I'm here on stage with the victorious members of CounterLogic Gaming. Now, this is the time where I get to sit trophy side and have a little chat with these gentlemen after their victory. I've got to come to you first, Darshan, as one of the members who had the victory over Summer Split. How does it feel to come back and make sure that everyone knows you're at the top of North America yet again in the spring?
Feels pretty damn good. I think we all worked really hard, and that was a hard-fought series on both sides. I think TSM also played really well, but we came out on top because we were better.
I mean, absolutely, a 5-game series this time, and I like the little response there to double it. The 5-game series this time, though, Smithy, last time it was a 3-0, so this time they definitely gave you a little bit more of a run for your money, and I mean, kind of piggybacking off of Darshan's point, TSM had a disgusting run through the playoffs, some might say, coming in as a 6th seed and then challenging you guys for this title. So talk to me a little bit about preparation. What were you guys expecting coming into this series?
Well, yeah, for first one, there's like gonna be a lot of doubters like for us since like we're trying new stuff, but we're just trying to get inspiration from like everyone around us. We're trying to get everyone's impact in the game. But for this split or for this series, actually, like everyone's thought that the veterans were gonna be the carries, but actually it's our 2 rookies that carried us. So
speaking of which, let's jump over to Stixxay, our player of the series. Smithy just mentioned it, rookie season here, and here you are accepting that honors and your first NA LCS title. How does that feel knowing that, especially in the 5th game, all eyes were on you as the Tristana with the Lulu right behind you to take that victory?
Well, it's definitely... My mic working? Okay.
Hello?
You might be swap mics.
This one's broken too. Oh.
All right. That's 1, 2, 3.
Ba, ba,
Okay,
ba.
All right, we got it. You're good.
All right, so, well, I was definitely happy that my Ginsu's Tristana worked out, because if that didn't work out,
Well, so talk to me about this pick, because the last time we saw the Ginsu's Tristana, it didn't work out so well, right? And that takes a lot of guts in a game 5 of the finals for the split to pull out something that you've only played one other time on the stage and having had it not work. So what allowed you, what enabled you to make such a pick?
well, it was a pick that we had talked about the whole series, and that game was just like the correct game for us to do it. And as you can see, like when we have Lulu Tristana, especially when we scale that far into the late game, and I actually sold the Ginsu's at the end for a better build because Ginsu's loses its value over time. And yeah, Tristana's just super strong if she can get there. So
that's true. We saw the prowess of it. Huhi, you were right behind him there on that Lulu. We saw you jumping across all kinds of different champions in this series. It being your rookie split as well. What does it mean to you to be able to step up, you know, and grab back that title for CLG, a 2nd split in a row?
So can you sum up the question real quick?
Absolutely. It being your rookie split, how does it feel to step up onto this stage and get back that title, to take the title again, a 2nd time for CLG, knowing that you filled those shoes just as much, if not more, than the shoes that were there before?
So we're talking about like the championship, right?
This championship that you just won. You're aware that you just won the North American LCS split, right?
The sound is pretty weird, so I can't really hear
Right,
it.
I got you. I can speak up. I'm loud. So if you
I think
it felt good, right?
Yeah, it felt good.
Okay, now elaborate on that.
So basically, we won, like CLG won the championship last year too, but when we came to this season, like everyone expected us to perform really poorly. So I was kind of sad because I thought we were going to perform really well and then be like the top tier in LCS. But now, like I can surely tell them that we're the defending champion again, and we're going to win MSI and everything else.
There it is. We're going to win everything. I know that was the motto. Aframu, I got to speak to Zix a little bit about this team mentality that you guys have built and fostered. And I want to go to you as the veteran, the team captain, in terms of what has that journey been like for you guys, transitioning from a team that did have some stars, that had some people that you would play behind, to a team that is built of guys who will take a back seat to anybody else and let them carry.
Well. Well, in my opinion, this iteration of the CLG roster is just infinitely better. Mindset is a lot better. Everyone is willing to accept criticism, and there's no really people feeling afraid to have a voice on the team, I would say. So especially bringing in the two rookies, it was important for us that they had a very good environment that they can feel like, a tribute to our play style or whatever. Because when I first came on CLG as a rookie, that wasn't happening. I just played Protect AD carry the whole time. So, yeah. But I want to give a special shout out to Nian, Tonso, Seraph, Dexter, and Link for the series. And I did it for you guys. So, thanks.
Well, again, gentlemen, it shows the teamwork, the initiative that you guys have had in this split to go from, rebuilding the roster and in only one split to come away with a victory. It really does show. I want to congratulate you again on the championship. Wish you the best of luck at MSI. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Spring Split LCS champions, Counter Logic Gaming, put it together. And now we're going to throw it back up to Riven the guys to close out our day.
Thank you very much, Dash. And it is finally coming to a close here at Mandalay Bay. And you could see the camaraderie of Counter Logic Gaming on the stage there. Each player in the series had almost made a name for themselves coming in the season. Even the rookies did. And there, they were behind each other, bolstering each other with plays, comments. They're one of the strongest kind of cohesion teams we've seen in NA.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got to say, it's like people coming into this, yeah, they're defending champions, but everyone kind of just discounted them this split. It's like, well, sure, CLG won last year, but it's a different CLG. These guys didn't win. They're not going to be able to repeat. They're not going to go all the way. And they've been proving people wrong the entire way, all the way through the split, all the way through the playoffs, and now repeating has got to feel so good, just to prove everybody wrong.
I actually have some questions about how this is going to play out in the future, because when they won last year, it was still underdog, right? They always had the underdog mentality. They talked about it back at Madison Square Garden that everybody underestimates them. It happened again this entire split, and it happened again all the way up until the championship. Both of you guys are saying that TSM seemed like favorites and that CLG is going to take it today, but CLG moving forward, the reason that people don't look at them and go, that is an incredibly powerful squad, is because it's really hard to put your finger on what exactly it is, and it's their macro game. They play as a team. Yeah. It's hard to point out and be like, you can look at a team and be like TSM, like Bjergsen plays really well, right?
Exactly.
This guy plays really well, and then you're a fan of that. But when you look at CLG, it's the entire team. They work together like a unit. It's a machine, and it works perfectly. It may not be the most exciting machine to watch every time, all the time, right? It's not flashy, but it works effectively, and I think that's what people need to catch on to and look at CLG and be like, these guys are back-to-back champions for a reason.
It's great for me to look at teams like this because I see teams which have like an identity where they snowball only one lane. Like let's say the AD carry is the main carry, the mid laner is the main carry, the jungle carry.
You have that
everyone.
one focus.
Yeah, but then when you look at CLG, you have all their players enable each other. Like one game Stixxay goes off, one game Hui goes off. Smithy's doing great one game, Darshan is doing consistently great as well. Afro's moving, making like amazing plays, and it's hard to pinpoint like, oh, this guy was the MVP for this series. This guy was a super MVP for this series. It's more like it's refreshing to see that they can enable each other and everyone can carry.
And that's really
nice
changed from the beginning. We used to know them as the one-threat team where you just have a tank running around on the top lane.
Yeah, and it's so strange because you're talking about, like, we were debating back and forth about, like, who's player of the series. It's like, well, is it Stixxay? Well, I mean, he got that first blood because Afro move flashed forward and got that pulverizer. Like, Xmithie was ganking that lane. And that's the thing is it's just a team effort. And it's basically everybody's putting in 20%, so it equals 100% at the end of the day for the squad. Nobody is kind of letting the slack go, and other people are picking up when it does happen because some people will have an off game where they get first blooded, so they have each other's backs, and that's what I think is so beautiful about this squad, that they found the right unit of players. Because they gave up stars to do this, right? And a lot of people thought it was a mistake, but it ended up being the right move.
They said it themselves, carried by the rookies, right? Yep. So with our postseason standings finalized, let's take one more look at the championship points, the things everybody is gunning for. With their win, Counterlogic Gaming earns the title of Spring Split Champion and takes the lion's share of championship points, a total of 90 to carry into the summer. Second place TSM walks away with 70 points, with third place Immortals earning 50. Liquid end the split with 30 points, and with Cloud9 and Energy Esports taking home 10. And all throughout, we have been asking for your favorite moments, and we've gone through the archives to relive some of those epic memories. Our first tweet comes from Shadow Chimera. Last game, Huni's pentakill to conclude a 17-1 Immortals run in their first split. P-Bars are not telling the same story. Immortals is running right over them. Huni with the phase dive. Huni with the quadra. The fall. Is it going to be the penta? Huni in the final game of their spring split gets a pentakill.
Pentakill. Hey, give him penta. Give him penta.
Give me penta. Give me penta.
Give him the penta.
I remember calling that play, and afterwards I'm like, quadra kill, because the quadra kill pops up, and then a turret gets destroyed, so you don't see Penta for a very long while. And I remember looking up at you like, okay, when, like giving hand signals is like,
And then you look down and it's like, Aiden, what are you doing? Aiden, Penta.
Like, I know it's a Penta. Last thing I saw was quadra, but it was really well played by them. And
it was amazing.
You know, getting third place with a couple of kind of backtracking in their strategy, but of course, I mean, he plays tank, or not tank tops now, but he played very aggressive top laners. He's been fantastic at them. So
to change it up.
Maybe it comes back in.
So we've got an unforgettable moment as well from the outside teams of the playoffs, coming from Lilyman Building. Definitely Echo Fox versus Dignitas. 68-minute game with a breathtaking ending.
Yeah, run in and back door.
They know we're there.
It doesn't matter, just do it.
We need to just go. You have flash? Jump over this wall.
Just do it, just do it.
Go over the wall, go over the wall. Now.
Do it, do it, do it. Just do it, just do it, just do it. Hit the tower only.
Keith goes down, but here comes Hard. He wants it. He's trying a big pulverize. He's trying to win the game. It's so close, and they did it. Echo Fox, somehow they've won the game. Oh my God! I cannot believe that. I believe that.
I think Kobe had actually lost his mind by that point in the game, and that one was absolutely incredible. You know, the CS records are pretty nuts, but
And great cast on the day, guys.
Yeah, I noticed as the game gets longer and longer, Kobe gets more and more insane. So when you hit the 68-minute mark, that's where he snaps, and it was right there. So
just on the cusp. We got to get more of those. Next up is a tweet we got yesterday, but wanted to save it for the moment for the main event. From MC Banter 101. When CLG beat Immortals due to a backdoor by Darshan, even Zion Spartan would be proud. I'm buyer of all time buyers. Can he do it? He's in there. It's the smite fight. 50-50. He steals it. And Counterlogic Gaming is very much still in it.
I got
Nice! Run! He's onto the Nexus. Does it even matter that Xmithie just came up that big? Yes, it does. What a barn burner. He gets it to go down. 42 minutes on the clock. Counterlogic Gaming defeats Immortals. And he broke his chair.
Did he? Did he break it?
When he got up, he threw it back. Because I don't know if it broke, but off the stage. Zion is one of the most kind of intense, emotional players in those moments, and we've always known.
Yeah, we saw Darshan today, though. You know.
Oh God. I feel like CLG just cheats. They always get these crazy game enders where it's like that's scripted. There's no way that could possibly have happened out normally. Today they had minions kill the Nexus. You know, Darshan gets these crazy backdoors. And you're just like, they couldn't have planned for that. But it happened so many times. Like, their shot calling is just on point, especially when it comes to endgame.
They can't even get the minions to do what they want. Our last moment from Red Magikarp 13, great name. The call that put CLG in the finals, the double TP of Legends.
We can TP mid, Jay. Double TP mid. All right. You have GA, right?
Yep. No, not yet. We can TP now. You want
All right,
it?
I'm teleporting.
All right. I got a flash.
Don't go in. Don't go in. Don't go in. Don't go in. Okay.
You got it.
So if they channel it at exactly the same time, you can't tell, but it was a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
And he had a trap even. That's why he felt so safe. He's like, oh yeah, he'll teleport onto a trap and I'm good.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. Speaking of crazy endings, I mean, that was one of the craziest I've ever seen. I remember watching that on the analyst desk, and we were all just like, wait, one TP, what are they doing? And then we see the second one come through, and we all just lost our minds. We're all screaming, oh my God, the game's over. But it was absolutely insane.
And Piglet tries to play that to the best of his ability. Of course, he could have backed off, but if it was just one TP, he actually played it perfectly. He put one trap down, and then as soon as he saw the other, his reaction time was actually incredibly fast. He puts down another trap, and he eased backwards, but he gets rooted at the same time, so he doesn't actually go anywhere. So he freaked out on his keyboard when he saw that second one come through.
Tough stuff, but I love those kind of millisecond plays where you can actually say, would I do that or would I have backed off? And I think I actually would have stayed too.
I definitely would have died.
Yeah.
The thing is, if that were me, I would have died so many times in the rest of the game that part wouldn't have had to happen because it would have been the 20-minute FF. So,
And then Scar's quiet. He's like, I would have lived. Whatever, guys. So the LCS is going to go on a month-long cooldown before we move to summer and a best-of-3 format. But Primetime League will have you covered in the meantime, along with a little tournament we call MSI. In just 2 weeks, the top teams from around the world will meet in Shanghai, China, for the League of Legends Mid-Season Invitational. Counterlogic Gaming will be representing North America on the international stage, with G2 Esports coming in for Europe and the Flash Wolves representing the LMS. The remaining competitors will be determined in the next few weeks, and MSI will be hitting your screens on May 4th for the first day of group stages. I think it'll actually be pretty crazy. We do know the International Wildcard Invitational is taking place right now as well, so more to come from that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who ends up making it there. If SKT end up making it all the way, and if they come back. But EDG also in the finals for China at the moment, so I'm really excited to see if they even get a rematch there from the previous MSI.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who gets second place, because CLG just called first. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right, first is known.
I was kind of bummed I got spoiled on the event. I mean,
too scripted, too early.
But I'm really excited that it is a 2-week event. So after that first stage, you get a week to prepare for your opponents.
Right.
And then it gets to be an even more competitive bracket stage.
It seems like that time now isn't putting teams in a lull. It's actually giving them a lot of strength to come into these tournaments. So thank you for sending us your epic moments. We look forward to bringing you even more next split, if you send them in still. Congratulations once again to our Spring Split champions, Counterlogic Gaming. Thank you for watching. And now for myself, Skara, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew. I think it's the end of the day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at MSI.